All right, good morning, you guys. These are the exit ticket for review notes. So these are the question types that are going to be on the exit ticket that I wanted to explicitly talk about. So the first one is EMR ranking. So that's electromagnetic radiation ranking and calculation. So you'll need to be able to express it in the right terms. You're not going to be having to do calculations with these. All right, so we see that the energy is equal to things like frequency, um, and then there's this other equation that has the speed of light and the wavelength. And so whenever we plug that in for V here, we get this compound equation. And so you can see the energy has these direct relationships with H and C, and an indirect relationship with this gamma, which is the wavelength. Um, so that means that as this increases, this decreases, right? As H increases, E also increases. So just think about direct and indirect relationships between these different things, what these different things mean, as well as knowing how to put them in order and kind of where things are. So the biggest fact I would know is this one right here. Visible light is in the 300 to 800 nanometer range. Okay, so that's right here on the spectrum. Visible is 300 to 800, and I want you to notice the arrow here is going to the left and gets longer this way. So that means that IR is above 800, whereas UV is less than 300. All right, so you'll notice that the smaller the wavelength gets, the more high energy it is, right? So these are like radio waves down here, very low energy. And you have gamma rays over here, which is what changed the Hulk. So very high energy, which we can see makes sense over here, right? As this gets longer, this gets smaller, right? So the bigger the wavelength, which is on the left, the lower the energy. Okay. And then knowing kind of what happens at each of these stages, the way that these different kinds of light interact with atoms and molecules is important. So I would make notice of which one of these interacts with the nucleus, right? So this is talking about the inner shell electron, all right, but not really the nucleus. Whereas when you get to gamma, strong enough to cause the atom nucleus to fall apart. All right. UV causes skin to burn. So this is where you get sunburns is from UV radiation. The colors we see. So this is again talking about valence electrons. IR, infrared, causes the molecules to vibrate. Okay, so we're talking about molecules. A fun example here. Microwaves cause electrons to spin. All right, causes molecules to rotate. And then radio cause the nuclei to spin. So it's interesting that the lowest energy waves and the highest energy are the ones that interact with the nucleus. So that is a brief overview of what will be on exit ticket 4. You guys have got this. It will be open from 9 to 9 today, Friday. And send me a remind for any questions.